Celtics faced off against Isiah's Pistons. Bird was on another level of dominance and had been dropping insane numbers all series long. If Larry Bird was black, he'd be just another good guy, Thomas said, dismissing Bird's greatness and igniting.
He said that goof ass shit. The top 6 players who disrespected the God, the legend, Larry Bird. Now look, bro, I ain't want to watch this video. I'm like, bro, who disrespected Larry? But I'm like, let me watch this video, man. The see who had, matter of fact, the see who didn't have a brain and was like, let me disrespect the legend Larry Bird. So man, look, man, I already know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, bro. Let's see what they talking about, bro.
But all of them, you know, I never had a good relationship with other teams' players. I never was comfortable with doing that. But now that I know a few of the guys, it was fun to compete against them.
This is Larry Bird, one of the greatest players to ever grace the hardwood.
It's a fact.
3-time NBA champion, 3-time MVP, and a legendary competitor who transformed the Boston Celtics into a force to be reckoned with. But here's the thing about Larry Bird. He demanded respect. And any player foolish enough to mock him or doubt his greatness found out the hard way why he was called the Hick from French Lick. Let's dive into 6 unforgettable moments when basketball stars disrespected Larry Bird.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why they disrespecting Larry? Bro, don't disrespect him.
And lived to regret it. Xavier McDaniel, the face-to-face challenge gone wrong. Also known as X-Man,
Face-to-face
was
challenge.
one of the most physical and fearless players during the gritty era of 1980s basketball. McDaniel never backed down from anyone, but one fateful game against Larry Bird and the Boston Celtics proved why trying to bully the Celtics superstar was a huge mistake, and one McDaniel would regret immediately. During a timeout in a heated regular season clash between the Celtics and the Seattle Supersonics, McDaniel decided to challenge Bird face-to-face. He crowded Bird, towering over him, and told him, "I've got you locked down, Larry. You ain't scoring today." McDaniel's trash talk was bold, but he clearly underestimated who he was dealing with. While Bird was calm in the moment, everyone who had faced him knew what was coming. Larry was about to make him pay. As the timeout ended, Bird walked back onto the court like a man on a mission. On the very next possession, he called for the ball, glanced at McDaniel, and immediately drained a fadeaway jumper over his outstretched arms. The Celtics bench erupted in cheers, while Bird casually jogged back on defense, muttering something to McDaniel that only the two could hear. But Larry wasn't done yet. He kept coming.
I said, I know I'm gonna be waiting. And he said, I'm gonna get it right here. I'm gonna shoot it right in your face.
I'm gonna shoot it right.
10 seconds. 5, and Bird has the basketball. Look out.
Larry. Exact spot, and shot a shot right in my face. And you know, he was like, I didn't mean to leave 2 seconds on the clock. He wanted to shoot it with 0 seconds on the clock. I walked back to the sideline like, damn.
Play after play, shot after shot, Bird torched McDaniel with his signature moves and brilliant offensive execution. By the end of the game, Bird had dismantled McDaniel's confidence and defensive swagger, finishing with a scorching 38 points. But what stung even more than the scoreboard was Bird's sharp tongue. As the clock wound down, Bird reportedly turned to McDaniel and said, "You couldn't lock me down if I was in a cell." The quote would stick in X-Man.
Oh my God! Well, that boy's a legend of trash talk too. That boy quick with it, huh? You could lock me down if I was in a cell.
His memory long after their encounter, serving as a reminder that challenging Bird was a mistake not easily forgotten. Bill Laimbeer, the master of dirty plays. Known as one of the dirtiest players in basketball history, Bill Laimbeer didn't shy away from physicality, especially when it came to Larry Bird. The Pistons' infamous bad boy thrived on disrupting opponents with elbows, shoves, and outright fouls, but Bird wasn't someone you could rattle so easily. Their clash during a regular season game in 1985 stands out as one of the most intense battles between these two fierce competitors, and it all started with a cheap shot that Laimbeer would soon regret. Early in the game, as Bird drove toward the rim, Laimbeer delivered a brutal elbow to Bird's face, knocking him to the floor. The crowd gasped. The referees let it slide. But Bird wasn't shaken. He wiped himself off, adjusted his focus, and proceeded to dismantle Laimbeer and the Pistons with the cold precision of a basketball assassin. From that moment on, Bird played like a man on a mission. It was personal now, and Bird unleashed his fury in every way possible. Over the course of the game, Bird torched Detroit with an unforgettable performance. 42 points, 10 rebounds, and 7 assists. He delivered dagger after dagger, from mid-range jumpers to clutch three-pointers. Every bucket felt like payback, and Bird didn't hesitate to let Laimbeer know it, firing off trash talk as sharp as his shooting. "You mess with me, you're gonna pay," Bird reportedly said during a timeout, walking confidently past the Pistons bench. By the final whistle, it wasn't just the scoreboard that showed Bird had won. It was the look of defeat on Laimbeer's face. Bird had humiliated him not with violence, but with skill, grit, and an unstoppable display of basketball brilliance. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the silent treatment that spoke volumes. Kareem was already an NBA legend, with multiple MVP awards and championships under his belt. He had played alongside icons like Magic and faced the fiercest competitors of his era. So, when Larry Bird started turning heads in the league, Kareem wasn't exactly ready to put the Celtics superstar on the same pedestal. He reportedly downplayed Bird's impact, expressing skepticism in private conversations with players.
Damn.
To Kareem, Bird's rise seemed more hype than substance, or so he thought. Bird didn't need words to respond. He let his game do all the talking. The 1984 NBA Finals became the proving ground for Bird to silence any doubters, including the great Kareem. It was Celtics versus Lakers, two juggernauts colliding on the grandest stage. Kareem entered the series as dominant as ever, but Bird elevated his game to an extraordinary level. He didn't just play in the finals, he controlled them. Bird averaged an unstoppable 27 points, 14 rebounds, and 3.6 assists throughout the series, showcasing his versatility and clutch performances.
Hey, Kareem.
Game 4 was a masterpiece. Bird's relentless rebounding and scoring overshadowed Kareem's contributions as the Celtics clawed to a dramatic victory in overtime. Then came Game 7, a defining moment for Bird and the Celtics. With 20 points, 12 rebounds, and laser-focused execution, Bird solidified Boston's championship. Kareem could only admire Bird's dominance from the opposing bench, realizing he had underestimated the man who transformed the Celtics into perennial contenders. After the series, Kareem's opinion shifted. He publicly praised Bird, admitting he's a competitor on a level I didn't expect. Bird not only earned Kareem's respect, but solidified his place among the greats of the game. The series highlighted Bird's ability to perform under pressure, his unmatched toughness, and his knack for rising above doubt when it mattered most. Julius Erving, the on-court fight that escalated. Bird was never afraid to push boundaries, and that sometimes led to fiery interactions, like his infamous clash with Dr. J. It was 1984, and the Boston Celtics were facing the Philadelphia 76ers in what would become one of the most heated games of the season. On that night, Bird wasn't just dominating the game. He was talking a lot of trash, something he had perfected as part of his mental warfare. Bird reportedly said things like, "You're washed up, Julius. You can't keep up with me anymore," as if poking an already frustrated Erving wasn't enough. But he didn't stop with the verbal jabs. Instead, he let his game do most of the mocking.
He said, "You can't."
Bird was on fire, easy dropping bucket after bucket over Erving and anyone else the Sixers tried to throw at him. By the end of 3 quarters, Bird already had 42 points on the board. Every shot Bird made added fuel to the fire, and the tension between him and Erving boiled over. What happened next would go down as one of the most infamous fights in NBA history. Frustrated and pushed beyond his limit, Erving snapped. During a
That's what happened when you giving that nigga, when you give him 42, he want to fight now.
scuffle, he grabbed Bird by the neck as both players began throwing punches with teammates, quickly swarming in to separate them. The crowd was stunned. These were 2 legendary players, icons of the game, battling not just with their skills, but physically. Bird didn't back down, and while the fight was eventually broken up, the damage had already been done. Bird had won the mental battle long before fists started flying. The Celtics cruised to an easy victory that night, and Bird cemented his reputation as a trash-talking tactician who could bury opponents psychologically while destroying them on the scoreboard. Erving, typically classier and more composed, regretted letting his emotions get the best of him. For Larry Bird, it wasn't just about playing basketball. It was about owning every part of the contest, from the mental edge to the final buzzer, Isiah Thomas. The trash talk that backfired. The rivalry between Bird and Isiah Thomas is one of the most heated stories in basketball history, a battle of skill and competitive fire that could only unfold in the intensity of the NBA. The pivotal moment of this feud happened during the 1987 Eastern Conference Finals when Bird's Celtics faced off against Isiah's Pistons. Bird was on another level of dominance and had been dropping insane numbers all series long, keeping Boston in championship form as he carried his team past Detroit's tough defense night after night. Frustration boiled over for Isiah after a hard-fought loss, and he gave an infamous post-game interview that shook the sports world. If Larry Bird was black, he'd be just another good guy, Thomas said, dismissing Bird's greatness and igniting...
He said that goof ass shit? Nah, Isaiah, you knew
controversy that erupted across headlines. The backlash was immediate. Fans, analysts, and players called out Isiah for downplaying Bird's incredible talent and insulting a player widely regarded as one of the best of all time. Bird never responded publicly. He saved his energy for the court. Game 5 of that series became the turning point. It was Bird's answer, and he let his play speak louder than any words could. Bird went off delivering a legendary performance with 36 points, 12 rebounds, and 9 assists. Every basket added fuel to a hot Celtics victory, and every highlight screamed redemption in front of a stunned Pistons team. Whether he was grabbing rebounds, threading needle passes, or draining clutch shots, Bird was unstoppable. And he made sure Isiah couldn't ignore it. Realizing his mistake, Isiah quickly tried to backpedal, calling his remarks a joke taken out of context. "I meant no harm. Larry Bird is one of the best players ever," he said later, attempting damage control. But Bird had already proven the truth. His greatness transcended any narrative. Dennis Rodman, the rookie mistake. When Dennis entered the league, he was brash, bold, and ready to prove himself. As a rookie on the Detroit Pistons, Dennis had plenty of confidence, sometimes too much for his own good. In an interview during his first season, Rodman made the mistake of calling Larry Bird overrated, claiming he only excelled because of the talented teammates around him.
What?
It was a bold statement, but it wasn't the smartest one. Rodman likely didn't understand yet that Bird had a way of turning disrespect into fuel. Fuel that could torch anyone who dared
They were saying anything in
Bird
Detroit.
didn't respond with words. He rarely needed to. Instead, he waited for the opportunity to show Rodman exactly why calling him overrated might have been the worst decision of his young career. That opportunity came in their next matchup, and Bird's performance was an instant classic, a basketball masterclass designed to humble the rookie. Bird torched the Pistons with 34 points, grabbed 15 rebounds, and dished out 8 assists, all while dictating the game with his signature swagger and precision. Rodman, tasked with guarding Bird, could only chase him with no effect as the Celtics legend hit impossible fadeaways, clutch shots, and perfect passes. By the time the final buzzer sounded, the Celtics had secured a dominant win, and Rodman had learned a painful lesson. Bird wasn't overrated. He was unstoppable. Every legend has moments where they're tested, and Larry Bird rose above every challenge. These stories are about a man who demanded respect through his grit, determination, and undeniable greatness. Bird didn't just win games, he dominated minds and crushed egos.
I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm gonna keep it all the way 100 with y'all, bro. Every time I watch a Bird video, bro, I learned that this man was really that guy. He was really the GOAT, didn't care about nothing. You know what I'm saying? Man, his heart was bigger than a lion's. I ain't gonna lie, Larry Bird, bro, I need that jersey, bro. The Indiana State jersey, I need it. In the Celtics jersey, I need it. Because, like, he might be the GOAT of basketball, bro. Now I'm thinking, he might be the GOAT. I don't want to say that yet, though, because, like, it's still LeBron, Michael Jordan out there. But, hey, y'all already know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, but I want to see more Larry Bird. Let me know in the comments. And I'm going to see y'all next one, man. No cap.